You're rocking with the best. 1027, the Riddim.
Bahama, y'all know what time it is right now. It's time for us to run our mode. Guess what, y'all? Take 'em reach.
I can tell you that.
Take 'em reach.
I'm on time today. So you know what that means. Only something important can be going on. Extra super important can be going on.
I'm telling you, yeah. Because, you know, we got the lady of the hour in the building right now. And I want to introduce our Minister of Grand Bahama and the MP of Pineridge, the Honorable Ginger Moxey. Good morning, how are you?
Good morning. I am wonderful.
There you go, yeah. There you go.
You can hear me now?
Yeah,
you
the head was a little bit more.
That's
It's a big one. I want to hear what's going on. Yeah, I want to hear every day. I don't miss a thing.
I am so happy to be here.
Let me put my mic on so I could make eye contact. Yeah.
Y'all know money don't sit in on the interviews either. He and here this morning. You look good this morning. Yeah, I see you look good. You're watching me down. See?
Yeah, I got to match it. I know I don't have two ties can be in the studio, so and I can't come slipping.
I can tell you that.
But nevertheless, you know, it's all about the lady hour right now. And just give a brief little introduction of yourself, Miss Moxey.
Yeah, well, you know, I'm Ginger Moxey.
Nice to meet you again.
They call me Ginger for the people.
Right.
I am really, truly for the people. You know, I'm, of course, the Minister for Grand Bahama, the Member of Parliament for Pineridge, and I've been busy, very busy, trying to get, you know, the economy going again, trying to help those that are in need, creating initiatives and programs that really impact people, meeting with those in the community, meeting with those who will help to transform Grand Bahama Island and take it to where it needs to go. Right. You know, focusing on Grand Bahama Island being the, you know, home of maritime and logistics, the home of events and entertainment, and the home of innovation. So we're going to be doing some very special things on this island that impact people and that allows people to make money from what they love to do.
Right. I like the sound of that. I mean, right now, I think Grand Bahama has been put on the back burner for far too long. And hearing this coming from you now is like a breath of fresh air. I see your passion for the people. I see your passion for the people, and I think you being a lady, the position that you already hold, there's a whole lot more eyes that are on you right now.
Absolutely.
They actually combing you with a fine-tooth comb. Yeah, you know, and I told them they have to give you a chance. They have to give you a chance because I see you keep spending a lot of time in Nassau, and you got the brain, and now you got the looks to go with it. So I know the fellas don't like that when you face out looking at them. So I think we hear more things done.
Money. You said that, you know, it's a breath of fresh air hearing these things, but we always say things. People always just come with the promises, and they always have these mega plans, and they have these 5-point and 10-point plan. And I think the difference this time around is that we actually see the work being done so far. So I do want to ask Minister Moxey, you know, can you highlight, like, what is the top few things, I can't even say 3, but what is the top 3 things that you've done so far since taking office? Because this lady takes no days off. I've seen it with my own eyes. What are the most impactful things that have already been done, complete?
Okay, so from day one, I think during the campaign, there was a lot of talk about about the SIRS order and the vehicle exemption, because, you know, there were so many people that were impacted that were not able to get their vehicles during that period, and that was one of the first things that we did. We amended the SIRS order to allow those who had who could not receive the vehicles during that period to be able to get that. So we did that. We did it on the building and appliances as well. We increased pensions. We extended the unemployment benefit and did a $500 lump sum payment to those right before Christmas. We conducted service-wide promotions and reinstated increments, and we're still going through that process. Of course, we canceled the emergency orders, which opened up the economy. We lifted the curfew. We offered free COVID testing. We also personally introduced Grand Bahama Clean Initiative that employed over 100 in January for a short period. But what it did to those who had not seen income in such a long time, it really gave them that opportunity to assist themselves and their families, and it went right back into the local economy. And we got a much needed fire truck for the island based on one of the initiatives that I dealt with. Also, we granted emergency financial relief to the straw vendors in Port Lucaya, and other vendors throughout the island, like the farmers market, the in 8 Mile Rock by the fish fry, and some of the other vendors. And then we launched Beautiful Grand Bahama. That's going on right now. That is an initiative that is holistic. You know, oftentimes you hear of things like cleanup campaign, but it's so much more than that. It is trying to find ways to not only provide jobs, it's a 12-week program, but it's also one where we're dealing with specific projects that improve the communities. And also we are focusing on our tourist product development. So all of our projects, most of our projects target some of these tourist sites that we can develop and create vendor opportunities for our people. So we don't just look at, the one-off job here, but what are we doing with these projects that allows people to be able to become entrepreneurs? So, and then we have the Empower Grandmama Grant, that's coming up. That's for the orange economy and the creative industry. It's a $5,000 grant that we're providing for those in that space. But again, we're working on so many major projects, but all of these are things that are going on now or that have already been done, and there's a lot more coming up.
All I hear is relief, money. What you hear?
Action, not a bag about.
Right. I can't get them song and tangled in my head back then. But all I'm hearing is relief, and it sounds as though that you have plans that are still in motion for the future. Besides the things that you have already done. So my next question would be, what is next? What is next? I know you mentioned just now about the grant for the orange economy for entrepreneurs, but what is next on the grander scale when it comes to Grand Bahama specifically?
Okay, so on the grand scale, we know that we've been dealing with the Grand Lucaya Resort for a while, and that was a bad deal that was done. I would call it back in the day. That was a terrible deal.
It was a bad deal.
It was a very bad deal, and so we've had to address that. We now have a buyer. There are actually three finalists. We have a buyer, and that will be, the selection will be made the end of this month. That's right here. Okay. And then we should be making an announcement the first week in May.
Sound like progress.
So that is definite progress. And what we always look for, we look for someone with a vision. Someone who see it more than just, this hotel property, but someone who sees the Bahamian people in it and want them to be a part of it, and then looks at the entire area and looks with a greater, sense of empowerment for our people. And so I think that's what we're going to get from these investors here. And then, of course, we have the airport that has to be redeveloped.
I read on that one.
That is a must. That is priority. And so the request for proposal is out, and by the 15th of May, we should have that's the deadline now for the request for proposal. And we're talking about developing a world-class airport. Yeah. But in the interim, there are things that are going on right now that needs to be fixed, and that needed to be fixed from, during for a while now.
I don't get me started with the Dorian though.
Oh, you understand.
Started.
So one of the first things that we did upon coming to office was that we actually went and physically toured all these facilities, and when they met the staff, looked at what they were dealing with on a daily basis to just function, and it's like deplorable. And so these are we've been doing things right now, ordering the generators, ordering the elevator for the control tower that hadn't had an elevator in a long time. So these are some of the things we're doing to address, the staffing concerns, to address some of the fixes that need to happen now. We don't want to go on much longer when people come to the airport that they see these structures that should have either been torn down or fixed months ago. So when you have guests coming here now and they're saying that, what are they saying? So these are, again, some of the things that we're dealing with. And everything is a process. Everything,
it takes some time. Well, I ask all the time too.
It takes time, but you see, my thing is I have to find a way to get it done. I understand that, I hear that all the time. And my thing is just being, just actioning stuff, executing stuff. Sometimes you have to do things in a different way to get the results you want. And so that's why I have created all of these different initiatives to make things happen. That's why I've created the new unit in the Ministry for Grandmama called CoLab, Partnerships for Development. Through that unit, we will be working together to get things done. That's why I've called all the promoters on the island together in a meeting to say, guess what?
Right.
We will be the events and entertainment destination of the Bahamas.
That's it.
I thought so
let's
when
do
you
this.
that meeting, I really, that meeting gave me hope for Grandmama. Honestly, it did. And I applaud you for that vision that you have, and in believing in the entertainment
Absolutely.
Of Grandmama, because I think that within itself is going to sustain Grandmama. If just a piece of that works,
Listen.
that make your job. I told them it's super easy.
You're doing it anyway, right?
Facts,
You're doing it anyway. We know how to do those
just
events.
structure it properly.
We need to structure it properly, and we need to support. As a government, we need to support your initiatives and make it work. In our blueprint for change that I was kind of, I had a hand in developing, in our blueprint for change, we talk about Grandmama, of course, being the events and entertainment destination in the Bahamas. We also talk a lot about the orange economy and how we want to have a 52-week calendar of events. And so if we want to do this, and Grand Bahama is home of events and entertainment, that means we're going to have a lot of these events.
Sounds like a collaboration.
That's a collaboration.
Sounds like a collaboration.
And so guess what? We've been working so long in silos where this one here is doing their thing, the other is doing their thing. Why not come together, work together, and make it happen?
Okay. So what is the relationship now with the Port Authority and the government as pertaining to Grand Bahama?
The relationship with the port and the government.
Yes, we've been seeing a lot going on around social media.
And you've been seeing others injecting themselves in it.
Yeah, so
now,
let's hear from the queen of the town right now.
So the thing about it is, like I've mentioned on numerous occasions, from day one, we have been meeting with the Port Authority. One of my mandates is relations with the Grand Bahama Port Authority.
Right.
And so that goes without saying. We're meeting with the port, but we're meeting with the Port Authority at a high level, determining the direction of Grand Bahama Island, the direction of the city of Freeport in general, because the port is responsible for the city of Freeport.
Right.
The government is responsible for the entire island,
right.
With East and West in particular. One of the things that I wanted to, that I shared earlier, I think in one of my House of Assembly debates, was that for so long, the promotion of Grand Bahama rests entirely with the Port Authority in the city of Freeport. You don't see literature prepared on Grand Bahama Island in general when you go to these trade shows and stuff like that. The Ministry for Grand Bahama, for me, is one that has to take a lead in how we promote Grand Bahama Island in general, because it's not just about the city of Freeport. So we've been meeting with the port shareholders. That's at the cabinet level. We've been meeting with executives of the Port Authority on various issues. It could be the environmental bylaws, on certain other initiatives that we're working on. So various individuals in my ministry have been meeting with other members of the Port Authority. So it's an ongoing dialogue, an ongoing relationship that we have to maintain.
Right.
Now, and we've also been meeting with the corporate community. We've been meeting with the industrial sector and all of the leaders there. We've been meeting with the Chamber of Commerce on numerous occasions. So there's, as far as that is concerned, that is happening.
Okay.
So if there's going to be a meeting, it's probably going to be the Port Authority, the Chamber, and the Ministry for Grand Bahama and others. So when there are individuals now who come and assert themselves as the voice of, that's where you have an issue.
So the meetings are happening. It's just at a level right now where there isn't anything to be publicized per se, because there are no decisions have been made as yet, or anything I want to say progressive or productive. But anybody, and I always say anybody who does business would know that you never want to let the cat out of the bag while it's a kitten.
Straight facts.
Yeah, you aren't retired of letters of intent.
Action, not a Bahama.
I'm telling you,
that is it. And we're working. We are working, getting things done. You know, meeting with investors. I'm around the clock. So I'm really just excited about what's in store for Grand Bahama, what's coming up. We have, of course, the Carnival Cruise Port development. That's happening. Ground should be breaking.
I'm really excited about that.
Yes, it's ground should be.
I'm really excited about that. I'm going to go to my job. I'm going to cross over right now.
Ground should be breaking early next month. The thing about that is that's going to open up all sorts of opportunities for.
Sound like construction is going to be crazy around here.
About 1,000.
I am the wrong feeling.
But also beyond that, the opportunities that the cruise port will create, you know, just for Bahamians in general, for the vendor opportunities within the cruise port.
Right.
But what I look to more than anything, I am passionate about community-based tourism. So I'm passionate about the percentage that come out of the cruise port and that go into our communities, because when people talk about the experiences, the visitor experience, they want to see our people and immerse themselves in our culture and see how we live and that kind of stuff. So there are amazing opportunities for Bahamian entrepreneurs to create different tour experiences, different products that you want, the tourists to purchase. And that's why we're focusing so much on tourism product development and these Orange Economy grants and the like. And one of the things we also did, this would be the Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Tourism, Investment and Aviation, when we met with the cruise line executives, we said, okay, we are now building these cruise ports, but in the interim, we want to make sure our people are ready. We want to make sure that when it all comes, that our product is, number one, that we are producing real, authentic Bahamian products. And so that is what it's all about. I'm excited because I can see our people making money from what they love to do. I can see our people excelling. I can see our people, becoming the boss.
That's what I'm talking about.
That's it.
I'm so happy to see how passionate you are when you speak about Grand Bahama. And listening to you speak, I think there's some light for Grand Bahama at the end of the tunnel. And sounds like next month a whole lot is going to be going on in Grand Bahama as far as investors and
groundbreaking
investments, groundbreaking. We have, of course, UB North that's moving downtown Freeport.
Oh yeah,
you have a lot that's going to happen in downtown. I told y'all. I told you now is the time. Of course, we have the food store finally coming back downtown. We have a lot of other, even some of the government agencies are going to be downtown. But what I see downtown, I see events all around. I see, some special stuff happening downtown with the support of the Ministry for Grand Bahama. So we, like I said, I see Grand Bahama coming alive. I see our people being able to finally, come out of what we've been going through for such a long time. And I see, of course, our people receiving the support of our government. The beautiful Grand Bahama, for example, I didn't talk much about that, but again, that's right now we have 350 people employed in that program.
Wow.
There's 350 people who now can take a check home. They'll take some cash home.
The relief.
For their families. And the thing about that is it's going right back into the community.
Right.
So it's going back to the barbers and the hairstylists and the food stores,
yes.
and everyone, all those small
effect.
mom and pop shops, they're making money from this initiative.
I have a question. Mm-hmm. I'm one for the positivity. I look at the glass half full always. But ever since we mentioned Dorian, I just can't seem to get that image out of my mind, and it's something that nags and nags and nags at me all of the time, especially how we have been treated with the former administration. But listen, all right, the milk done spill. What I want to ask you, Minister Moxey, is, we live in a climate where we are hurricane prone. All right, we have hurricane. If we don't have one this year, we have one the next year. And
we can't take that.
They've been saying that.
The Bible said the Lord would not put more on you than you can bear.
Well, anyhow, let's say if. Then let's just say if. All right.
Right.
Let's remember now, we did not know who was going to come behind Mr. Dorian Johnson or whatever his last name is. Okay, and I think that we were very ill prepared. There was not much that you could prepare for a storm that we underestimated. The world had underestimated. Right. But to my question, we are living in a hurricane-prone climate, and we do not have a state-of-the-art hurricane shelter per se. Is this something that is on the minds of the Ministry of Grandma? Because
absolutely,
we can't do that again.
Absolutely,
she's not even
that is so high up on the list of
hurricane season, June 1st.
Yes, absolutely right, and it's going to take some time to build.
Yes, it's going to take some time.
It's coming. Of course, Grand Bahama, we're still recovering and rebuilding from Dorian, but one of the major. So I might as well say, right?
Come tell me.
So we have, of course, I like to look at things in a multifunctional way, not just as a shelter, per se. So we are going to be developing a multi-sports complex at the Grand Bahama Sports Center land, where we can have all these amazing events, where we can have, to deal with sports tourism and everything that it has to offer, because so many teams want to come here, but we don't have the facilities. So we're building that. But it's also a shelter. It will also serve as that shelter, that massive shelter that we need for this island. And along with that, we're also, looking at, of course, repairing and rebuilding along the way, because we lost so many shelters during Dorian. You have so many places that were used for shelters that were so compromised, and so of course shelter, that's like one of the number one priorities of this administration. And so we have all hands on deck, where we're very sensitive to the needs of the people, and we're mobilizing hurricane preparedness centers in conjunction with NEMA, of course, and other government agencies.
Awesome. Really wanted to know that.
Yeah,
I think that and then even afterwards, when it comes to the relief and the bunks back and all of that. So, but I think that's the first step, when it comes to saving lives, because lives were lost. You could buy things back. I could buy this shirt back, I could buy this watch back, but I cannot buy my life back. And to know that there were persons that could not have escaped that, it's something that just nags.
And even with that, you think also of the technology and the collapse of the phone system and stuff like that. So it's just again, I love the word holistic approach to how we manage, and deal with hurricane preparedness, and then immediately following, how do we mobilize quickly and action? So these are some of the things that we have prioritized.
So I heard that you saying that next month is going to be real good for Grand Bahama. Are they planning on starting right away, quick impact to the economy? Or are we going to see groundbreaking, another balloon, months later?
Everything is now. Everything is groundbreaking, and you get to work.
Straight to work. These investors
How
are
many
ready to go.
groundbreakings have we had?
Right. I honestly,
Don't start me up, please.
Listen,
Don't start me up,
to be
please.
quite honest, I
Letters of
don't
intent.
even like to hear the word groundbreaking right now.
I agree.
I just want to see the action.
Right.
Like, what's next? Okay, what after that? What's next? So that's really that's the focus. I also think of I go back to beautiful Grand Bahama. I look at the 350 we have employed there, and it's a 12-week program, right? So it'll take you to June 30th. But what happens after that, right? And this is where I see all of these other opportunities happening that some of our people can move on to their, to those opportunities. But again, we have so many people, for example, and I mentioned this before, with records, that they can perhaps be employed in this initiative that we have here, but they can move on to another thing. And these are some of the things we have to fix so that our people will be able to have opportunities outside of the types of programs that I'm developing here. But again, we have all hands on deck. We have a ministry that is focused on action, execution. It's now project based. We're going to be tapping into everything that we can do to not just provide, like I said, the job, but provide entrepreneurial opportunities. There's so many vendor opportunities in what we're doing at the Fishing Hole Road Cultural Village at the bridge.
Right.
There's stuff that we're doing with the Grandmama Arts and Crafts Center, stuff that we're doing with a Hawksville Cultural Village that we're creating, stuff that we're doing out on Field Street as a tourist attraction.
Look here.
Yes. See, my thing is this. If we create the opportunities that creates the vendor opportunities for our people,
Yep.
that's how you do it. Yeah. So you're creating the jobs with the bigger investments that are coming in, which you're also doing there. And then one of the things that I don't dive in too much because there's some stuff I'm still working on with it, but it's our Caribbean marketplace. That's a huge opportunity there that will allow our people to be able to, again, make money from our culture, make money from products that they're going to develop, allow Grand Bahama Island to be used as a base for Caribbean export, and then also I love to call Grand Bahama the home of resilience because we've been through it all.
I hate that word now.
We are the best at it. And so why not utilize Grand Bahama as the gateway to the Caribbean? Why not utilize
in a positive way?
In a positive way. Utilize us as that place where we can mobilize quickly after a disaster to help those in the South. Not just in the Bahama chain, right? But throughout the entire Caribbean. So I see us being that place for maritime and logistics, for events and entertainment, and for innovation.
I'm not listening.
Yeah. Minister Moxey.
You ladies first. I let you ask your question.
Okay, you want to forget yours, right?
No, I got it.
Okay. Did I forget mine? Oh, Minister Moxey, before all of this and being the Minister for Grand Bahama and being the MP for Pineridge, just getting in office, getting in that seat. Before this, you were and probably still are an entrepreneur. And you have connected internationally. Do we see those links, or do you plan on using those links in what I want to say, making Grand Bahama, like you say, almost like an international, we can reach out internationally now. You want to use those relationships to bring it down to Grand Bahama because we are tired of being the stepchild.
You understand?
Okay? You're tired.
Sasha, that is exactly, what I'm about. Actually, I'm a social entrepreneur.
That's the word.
I'm a social entrepreneur. So everything that I do have to impact people. Everything that I do, I'm always about how do I utilize this or how do I do this and how will it trickle down to the others. So, for example, when I did Bahamas Jungle Carnival, everyone was like, Carnival? I'm like, let me show you how to do this. I want to show you how it will impact the Junkanooers, who at the time Junkanooers they wasn't even on that run, right? But the Junkanooers, I was able to get them around the table. They embraced it and they benefited. The musicians, the DJs, the artists, the vendors.
I get a couple of jobs.
You understand what I'm saying? So my point is, being able to create opportunities that allows others to thrive. That's what makes me feel good. And the fact that I have the international relationships, I am the Caribbean representative for Sister Cities International. So that gives me a platform where when I open something or when I create something, I know how I'm going to get the people there. I know how I'm going to utilize the relationships that will help others. And so we have this digital assets act now that's going to be presented in the House of Assembly. I think I'm presenting on Thursday. And for me, it's about, for me, it's about, this is about us. This is how do we get our people now who's in that space, in the orange economy, in the creative industry, to get their share of the pie. How do we allow them to make money from their own digital assets? You know, so you hear all this language talked about the cryptocurrency, the blockchain and all that and whatever. But for me, it's basic. It's how do our musicians, our artists, our DJs, our graphic designers, our visual artists and all that, how do you now, how do you monetize that? How do you truly monetize? That's what it's about. So for me, it's how do you take these opportunities that come where people may look at it in a very, broad way, where we're not included. How do you make sure it becomes relevant to us? How do we make the millionaires? How do we create those opportunities for us? And listen here, y'all know we got the talent. We have it.
I could tell
we
you
have
that.
the talent, we have the skill, we can do this thing. We just need the opportunity.
And the support.
And the support.
We need the opportunities and the support.
Yes.
And so this is it. This is time for us to take over. We are the events and entertainment capital of the Bahamas. Let's do this.
Let's
That's
go.
what it boils down to.
Now,
What you have my support in making it happen.
that's what I do. Well,
You're the champion.
I don't shoot you. We got something cooking up for Grand Bahama for sure.
That's it.
But my key now is the International Bazaar. Let me ask you about that. The eyesore that's been plaguing Grand Bahama for so long. The Tory Gate, where people saying they want to kick it down. Them closing off the road, the main street. I think that was the death of the bazaar, the road closure. What's your views on the International Bazaar? And do you have any plans moving forward?
And
do we have any strength in that area? Yeah. Does the government or the Ministry of Grand Bahama per se have any strength in that area? Because we've seen that time and time again being neglected. But from government to government to government.
So.
So
Here's my thing, right? And I don't know why. Y'all see me smiling here, right?
Yeah,
and
yeah,
I'm smiling because, see, that's the thing. I'm about action, right? So I have
Not a bag of mouth.
no, not a bag of mouth. So I've been communicating with Harcourt Development, basically saying that road is gonna be reopened. That road is gonna be reopened because it makes sense, right? Of course. And when that road is reopened, there are still opportunities there. There are opportunities in creating an environment for what I started to say we're doing. We're doing this marketplace. We're doing this thing that, can you imagine now? And I'm talking about business, right?
What are you on the road?
The whole world has it, right?
Right.
With what we're doing there, they're creating a Caribbean marketplace, right?
Yeah.
So now you have Jamaica represented, you have Trinidad represented, you have all these, Caribbean countries represented. But what do they? You have the art from there, you have the music, you have the food, you have all that, right? And so and then of course you have an entire Bahama section where you have Cat Island and Long Island and Exuma, and you have everything that's authentic to those islands. So you have the
pineapple,
You understand?
Right.
So what you do though, and then you have music that are authentic to these places. So, and you have a reggae night, or you have this night and all that. So now you have our artists and our artisans year-round being represented. You also now created an experience that this is the only place you can go around the world for that Caribbean village. This is the only place you can go to get a taste of the Caribbean in the world. And so you already have the cruise lines and all that on board, because now we created this experience that doesn't exist somewhere else. We've given them what they asked for. They asked for new product development. So that is that. Remember what used to happen around the bazaar? Race car driving. Remember that?
Oh, yes.
That was before my time, man. You gotta tell me.
New York, right? But guess what?
And they give me the stale part of Bahama. I like that.
Plenty ties used to be all around the
Guess what?
1 minute is junket flight and the next minute is race car driving. I miss it.
You miss it. But guess what? We have a sister city relationship with Concord, North Carolina, who is home to NASCAR.
Wow.
From I created that relationship, by the way, in 2015. When I created that was one of the reasons to bring race car driving to Grand Bahama.
So they're coming back.
So they're coming back. There's a direct flight that's going to be coming from Charlotte, North Carolina to Grand Bahama.
Wow.
Charlotte is 5 minutes away from Concord, North Carolina. If you have a sister city relationship with another city, they become your home away from home. So when you're talking about advertising for people to come on this flight, it's authentic. It's their own city is going to be advertising Grand Bahama because they have a sister city relationship with us. And so these are the types of things. So we're talking about directly having these cruise passengers who coming off the ship, coming to where? This marketplace that we're creating. We're talking year-round activities for the DJs, the artists, the visual artists, the graphic designers who run all of who run the various island experiences. So you could have example there,
right?
And then also we'll be running the sister city relationships out within this marketplace. So we're talking about non-stop activity. We're talking about taking Grand Bahama where it should be. We're talking about leading the orange economy, the creative industry. We're talking about all the creatives now wanting to move to Grand Bahama.
That's it.
It's all that.
It sounds like I need to open up a DJ
It sounds like I need to open one salon or something because I can stay inside one and we gotta get ready. We got to get ready from the powerboat race. All right, we got the powerboat race happening, and then we can have the race car driving. All I hear is race.
And why only talk about Pineridge? Why only talk
Tell me something about Pineridge.
Listen here.
Tell us something about Pineridge.
We know that's where your heart is. So
I don't want them to get biased. So I can't say that because you know where I reckon.
Your mama, we can put you on a pause for a second.
Listen, everything was Grand Bahama, right? Everything was Grand Bahama.
Yeah, that's it.
From day one, we've been having, and I told my people from day one, get ready for business. Get ready to be prepared for the opportunities that are going to come up.
Right.
Yes, the jobs are going to be there. We're going to be working on creating those jobs, opening up these various opportunities. But I also want to see you as an entrepreneur. Right. I will also want you to have something outside of,
I think that's where the government has dropped the ball in informing the humans what is coming so they can get prepared for it.
Absolutely.
And I think it's good that you're getting this information. And I think they should do more. Create a platform that could inform people to prepare.
Let me tell you, if they don't give you if on the first week of appointment, if people start attacking, say, you ain't doing nothing.
They don't.
So my point is this.
I don't want to get into
No, I'm not doing that.
I can send this to you and take this one here and you put it up on your wall. Dog and market park out. You're waiting, so expect them, you're moving, expect them to make noise.
They can see you.
Alright? Expect them to
obviously see you.
Understand? You just stay focused.
So that's what I meant about informing. But we have to inform, I guess, in different ways. We have to ensure that our message gets out there. But the point I was making is when you are so busy,
right,
like from day one, doing, working, meeting with, the investors, meeting on those to assist in, just fixing some stuff that were messed up.
right.
We came into a jacked up situation.
And that's just the truth.
And we're fixing it. We had to fix the mess. And so we're doing that. We're heading in the right direction. For the people of Pineridge, there's so much in store with the various programs and initiatives we're working on. We always have something going on in that community. Right. We've always been reaching out. And I do things in a way too. You have to do things in silence. A lot of times you have to do it in silence. Everything isn't for people to see. No, and I don't live like that, and I've always been like that. I've always been like that.
I know your navel string in Pineridge, but you take your grandma.
My navel string actually is in 8 Mile Rock.
Yeah, don't silence me. All right. She say.
So you gotta see that, but that tells you that grandmama, yes.
Listen, it's grandma. It's for the people. It's for all of the people.
Right.
It's creating opportunities for everyone. I want to see everyone thriving, and I think this is it really. I think we're in a good place of recovering. People are still hurting. People are hurting. So many people still don't know where the next meal is coming from, and these are some of the issues and some of the things that we're trying to address, and just trying to create opportunities for people. I always look at it really holistically and broadly. Instead of those specific individual needs, I look at the programs we're creating, the opportunities we're creating for vendors, the grant opportunities we're doing, where that one person who gets that is going to be able to help someone else, along the way. And so that's me.
I have another burning sensation, right?
Okay.
Again, all the positivity I'm here for, okay? Glass half full, there are plans in motion, there are things that have already been completed. But on a grander scale of things, can you confirm or deny anything when it comes to the increase of NIB payments?
Oh, Lord.
Is that happening? Or something that needs to be happening?
I wouldn't. I think that is something
you can't speak to that, right?
No, that would be the minister responsible for national insurance.
Okay.
Yeah, so I would not speak to that.
Okay, I'm out of that. Another thing what does get me. These customs bills, right? We pay. I'm laughing, I'm serious. And actually I'm reading some questions from my phone too, but this one is mine. We pay VAT, right? And then we pay customs duty, right? And then we pay another tax on top of that. Is there any way that, I wish I had an invoice with me right now, but it's almost as if we're being taxed 2 times. Have you ever heard anything like that before? What can we do about that?
And a couple months ago, it was 12%, so it was even worse, right?
I tell you that. You bring it down.
So there's been a reduction to it. But that is, again, that's something that
that really ought to go.
Yeah, that's
okay.
That's
and I want to get your personal opinion on something from some professionals that just shoot me a message. I don't know why they didn't call, but mental health. How do you feel about mental health? And in the Bahamas, we don't, collectively, let me don't say you or me, because we see the light. We have a caller?
Yeah, 1 second. Okay. Good morning, caller. How are you?
How are you doing at the 1027 station this morning?
Yes, sir. How are you?
I see you have a very nice, important lady, the Grand Bahama, in the building.
That's what we do.
Yeah, because when things going wrong and you put a little bit of ginger in it, that always just solve the problem, right?
That's what I'm talking about.
Okay, this is Mr. Curry, Blabbing Lights.
Yes, sir. Okay, all right.
Mr. Curry.
Thank you.
Yes, I want to tell Ms. Moxey, we're grateful, the Jonkin Woods, we're grateful for our little hand and assistance and helping us to make this parade next week Saturday.
All right.
We hope they make it publicized.
I hope we outside, baby.
Yeah, we want to be outside. I want to be outside too.
The dream is at last to see a footballer still alive.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yes, so
I'm with you on that.
She's going for the job, and I know she's going to do very, very well with culture and the youth and everybody.
All right, so.
Thank you, sir. But we're going to be outside.
Okay.
All right, you gotta be outside, baby. Be outside.
Y'all social distancing. That's one thing I don't want to see you lose, all right? Y'all, let's just give me some space. Sorry, just give me some space. Oh, they call it now.
No, that's social, baby.
Overall,
we're not taking.
yeah, we can't. I gotta use all my time to Mr. Moxey. Yeah. Just overall, really quickly, you don't have to really dive deep, but when it comes to mental health in the Bahamas, I feel as though, it's not really taken seriously, but we see things going left every day when it comes to domestic violence. I think that is also connected to a mental illness. How do you feel about that overall? What do you think that we can do as a people to limit those situations?
It's a concerted effort. It's a lot of collaboration with those who are trained in that area. But one thing we've been doing, and we see it every day, the unit that we formed called COLAB, Partnerships for Development, we are bringing the players together to see how we address those needs on Grand Bahama Island. One thing in particular, like we would have, we're in the process of getting a building demolished that some people actually live in right now, that it's in really deplorable condition, but we're renovating, redeveloping about 13 homes in Trip Circle. We have a resource center that we're putting there that's going to be utilized for to collaborate with social services and the others to assist with that. But we have a lot of them who are actually on the streets. And so we're looking to find ways where we partner with the community in general to, unite, come together, and let's see how we address some of these issues. So really it takes, it's all hands on deck.
Let's work together.
It's a village, but it also requires experts, in these fields to assist us with addressing some of these needs. So again, it's all hands on deck. We have so many that have already committed to COLAB. And moving forward and just being a part of solving it together.
Right. I just want to shameless plug the Grand Bahama Resilience Center. Are they involved in any way? Did they reach out to you?
They've already met.
Okay, because I think that they would be an awesome fit for the collab.
They've been doing an awesome job on this island. We've again been through it all. And so their timing really in the aftermath of Dorian, and then with us going through the pandemic is amazing. And so yes, they're one of the partners in COLAB.
All right, we in good shape then.
Where do you find time to be mommy? Because you just a doggone mom, and all I can hear you meet me, and you go in and go in.
I may look young, but my children kind of old.
Right.
They're adults now. They're adults.
Don't care how old you are. You never stop being mommy. I don't care how old are you.
You never do. You never do. But and they understand. They've been from they were little. Right. They used to go with me to work and stay underneath the desk while I worked, and they were a part of helping I used to have them there all hours of the night working. But they love being a part of, helping people also, in need. That's what it's all about. Imagine if all of us just thought about how we could help someone else today. How many solutions, we will create.
Well, I can tell you right now, I'm 110% behind you in whatever it is you're planning on doing, because you've already shown me political maturity by just inviting us up to your office to have a conversation.
See, that's the thing. That's the difference right there. I said all the promoters. I didn't say all of this color or whatever.
Oh, don't stop me up.
You understand?
That's what I applaud you for right there. And I think they got to understand if Grand Bahama fails, we all fail.
We all fail, right.
Understand? So That
Mr. Elnet say, revert to the flag. All right, revert to the flag. At the end of the day, after everything, we are Bahamians first, and we should want to see. Especially Grand Bahama. If you live in Grand Bahama and you worry about this color and that color,
and we've been mashed right up for the past couple of years, right?
Over and over.
This is the time. This is the time.
You put the colors down, right? After everything, we should aquamarine, gold, and black, and that's it. So that everybody
can put it on the record right now. For the next 4 years, I am a ginger's boy. Okay? So y'all just calm down.
That's it.
Calm down, and let's just back. She's in office. We have to give her 110% support. All right, Joe, put them colors aside. Throw them in the garbage. Wait till next one. I'm up 5 years.
Don't even look her again because she's graining again. I can tell you that. She's graining again.
We about to do this, lad.
From what I hear, she talking here today. I mean, you can close your eye and she usually goes.
But it ain't just talking and talk. See,
that's what I'm saying.
She can complete all kind of things.
No, I'm telling you, from what I have heard. You understand me? So, all you got to do now is fulfill.
And see, people don't even understand why I'm not into all the talk. I'm not into all the shows and all of that. You know, you understand you have to do it sometimes.
One text says I need you on the show. No problem. Boom.
I'm busy working.
Yeah.
I'm busy working.
We do appreciate you taking the time out. But I want money on Facebook. You ever see when someone come from Miss Ginger Moxey? What has happened? You ever see B? You ever see B come on high? I say, what is that? Listen, and guess what? People don't do that. People don't do that. If it's not honest and genuine, people don't do that. They don't put their face on the line, or they ready to take a bullet.
Between you and Mr. Pinder, I think y'all are the two.
I can tell you
the two most hardest working MPs I've ever seen in my whole entire life. I must commend you. You're doing a good job. In my eyesight, what I've seen so far.
Thank you.
You're doing what you're supposed to do.
Listen, shut up inside your let me move. Yeah.
You know what it is though? It's really from the heart. Like I'm in it for the right reason.
Okay.
This is what I do, you know. So for me, even in all the other capacities, I only care about how do we impact people. How do we feel comfortable with ourselves, with us sitting up here, eating our nice meal, our children in private school our children in private school and all that, and those people out there can't even eat. Like, how does that make you feel? And so my thing is, I could sacrifice. I could sacrifice anything. But at the end of the day, it's really about the people. How do you improve another life? And guess what? You don't get to everything right away.
No.
You don't get to, listen here. When we went on September 16th, I had like over 5,000 messages coming to my phone. I've never seen anything like that. So by the time you probably try to get to them, another event happens and you get another set and another set. So you don't get to those things like that. My point is this. I am really trying to help people. That's the bottom line. And so I'm trying to help people, but also I understand how the system works.
Right.
So I've worked in private. I've worked with the regulatory body and all that. So I know how it works. I know it can be done. So don't tell me certain things can't be done. You see what I'm saying? And then I've also worked in non-profit with an NGO, the NGO that I founded to help people in need. So I know the needs on the ground. We were the first on the ground after Dorian distributing relief supplies, and it came through Sister Cities International. So I understand the cries. I understand what people went through, and I'm trying to help to, develop the programs and the solutions that addresses their needs.
Well, one thing I just want you to do for me, I need to see some new young millionaires on this island. I don't want to see the same old construction guys getting the contracts, the same old bills. I want you to empower new young minds so there can be hope for the young generation that's coming up.
Guess what? But that's where you create the new industries. That's where you tap into the creative economy, the orange economy. These are the untapped. This is where, see, my thing is this. How do I get that person who don't have that degree or have that, who even think they have a chance of hitting that status?
Right.
How do we help them? You realize the product we produce. You realize what we can do if we just focused on what we're passionate about doing. And if we could turn that into an income producing opportunity, that's what I'm going after. I'm going after turning those who produce, who create, destroy stuff in the farmers market and all that.
Right,
These are the millionaires that I see.
The authentic.
These are the authentic
That's it.
millionaires.
These are the
Why?
authentic.
Because now my job is to get the passengers to come there. They already located there.
Right.
So if I get, but I need the product to be authentic now.
Authentic.
We don't need
No.
China stuff.
I agree.
So, but guess what? But we have to help them to get there.
Okay,
We
that's
have
all
to
I get
help
now.
them to get there. That's where the grants come from.
Right.
Specifically to help them to get to the next level.
So we see the connection, people.
You understand?
I see
You
the connection. I see
with
the
grants.
connection.
You see the connection in the beautiful Grand Bahama.
Right.
You see the connection in the tourism product development. You see the connection in the Caribbean Development Bank, who was just here the other day. When I told them about what I'm trying to do for Grand Bahama, listen here, they're ready. They want to offer grant. They want to offer to us the opportunity to be able to provide grants. Why? Because they see it. They understand it. They see the connectivity. They understand that when I talk about climate change and what we've been through, we're the model for climate change. So why shouldn't we be getting the funding that allows us to get to next level? And if we're going to do it, why not do it in a way that you're creating opportunities for the people to thrive? So that guess what? They ain't coming to me for social relief because they're doing it for themselves, and that's all our people want.
Right.
They're asking, they're saying, guess what? I don't want that kind of emergency relief, I mean, I can take it.
Don't give me the fish.
But
Don't give me a fish.
That's
Teach me
it.
how to fish, man. Give me one
that's
goat.
it. And that's what we're doing. We're creating those opportunities all around from east to west that allows our people to thrive. But guess what? We have to work together, and we have to stop trying to kill the one who tried to do it now.
Yeah, ease up off my head, minister, yeah?
Now,
Ease up, yeah?
just before you go down, I see you're talking about a lot of major events. Hotel is a problem in Grand Bahama. Do you have a temporary
Solution,
fix?
yeah.
Absolutely.
Huh?
And I have yes.
Check the Dimitri Mall. Let me know what you got.
I got my
Let's get it over here.
Understand this. So, one of the initial things that I said, we have no excuse to not have major events on this island.
Right.
When you have cruise ships, we have Miami-Dade, that's a sister city with the Bahamas.
Right.
We have these relationships. Miami is the home of these cruise ships, right?
Right.
And the people could come for our events and stay on the cruise ship if we don't even have the hotel room capacity at the time while we're building, because we're building, right?
That's what I'm about.
Also, Airbnb, we need to provide opportunities for our people to have Airbnbs. That's what people want now, It isn't always that hotel environment. It is that Airbnb where they could, that going in your pocket. And then they're renting vehicles from our people and, that going in their pocket. And they're going through our communities, and this is where the community-based tourism comes
Right,
in.
we're providing an
And this
authentic
is-
experience.
that's the
Come on,
authentic
man, I
experience.
ready. Hey, where am I showing?
So my point is, there is this is an ecosystem we're talking about. We're talking about creating an environment that allows everyone to start to taste this. We only have, and I understand it's less than 50,000 right now population, but we have the capacity for like 250,000 people on this island. We also want critical mass, right?
Coming back home.
They're coming back home. But what I'm saying is that we want our people to get to the place where everyone is thriving.
Right.
So we're creating the opportunities. We're looking for the support as we create it. Allow people to do what they're doing, and let's go.
I can tell you that. I ready to go. Which car are we going in? Because I
All
ready.
right. So, any last words you want to say to Grandmama before you exit?
I just want Grand Bahama to know that I am here to serve. I said that from day one. I am here to serve. I want to see our people excel. We have a ministry for Grand Bahama that I'm structuring in a way where we get things done. It's not about being in a ministry that just administers, but you're going to see project after project after project, but projects that impact people. Everything that we do is going to have a trickle-down effect on our people. Our people are looking for those opportunities. We've been hurting for a while, and this is the time. This is you've never seen anything like this before. it's a new day.
It's a new day.
Right, Mommy, you all hear that? It's a new day.
Brand spanking new.
Thank you for coming to the Riddim, Ms. Moxey. Thank you for taking time out of your
Thank
busy
you for
schedule.
having me.
Yes, really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Sasha?
Y'all already know how I feel. Okay, I just want to thank Minister Moxey so much for coming.
Well, that's a buddy, all right.
She's a very, very busy woman. And to have her here at the Riddim, I am very, very honored, okay, on Run Your Mouth. And y'all know how I feel. I can just drown y'all later with how I feel.
And Sasha could run her mouth. Hey,
I can tell you that.
She's running that, trust me. Keep it locked in,
This is the hottest station in the Bahamas, 1027 FM, the Riddim.
That was a rebroadcast of Run Your